Hey everybody, so I just want to do a quick intro to some of the more advanced features of Visual Studio Code for coding with JavaScript, which you're just now starting. As I think I've mentioned in class, working with JavaScript is in many ways more interesting and exciting than working with HTML and CSS. In terms of computational concepts, it's much richer what we can learn here, and the tooling in Visual Studio Code is more advanced and gives us more feedback on our code quality. So I'm going to run through a couple of different tools that are built in, or that are either built into to Visual Studio Code or are part of the extension pack that we installed at the beginning of the semester, and just try to show you how you can use some of these features to make your life easier as you're working. There may be some confusing things in what I say if you're watching this at the beginning of the JavaScript part of the class, because I may not have yet explained everything in class. So bear in mind that what you don't understand in this video, you will probably be introduced to a little bit later. But let me just show you now what we got. So I'm going to start by opening up our assignment in VSCode. You'll see it looks very similar to other assignments, or looks something very close to this. And maybe I'll start working on the assignment with this file in the problems directory called o1 functions and variables.js. So I'll click on it, and it will open up something like this. And first thing we'll notice is, first of all, a lot of syntax highlighting, which is actually super helpful. And second, this funky red stuff over here, I should say that I've already run npm install and stuff like that. So the red highlighting here with this number 9 plus, which says there are at least 9 errors or warnings in the file. So our first one is here, and if I hover on top of it, I will see what the problem is. The problem is name is declared, but its value is never read. There are actually two competing helpers trying to help us, one called TS and one called ESLint. And they're both telling us basically the same thing. That's not surprising because we haven't written the function yet. So even before we start, we get some hints about how we ought to proceed. And we can see we have very similar kinds of warnings here. Right? First is declared, second is declared and never used, third is declared and never used. So anyway, I'm just getting started with JavaScript. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm going to maybe try to work on problem 1, which says write a function hello that always returns the string hello. And I have a hint here in the form of a document string that says greet the user, it returns a string, and it should be exactly hello. So I don't know quite how to do that, so maybe I'll just do my kind of first guess as to how this might go, and I'll write something like this. And we can see that there's let's fix that typo. There's this yellow underline, and if I go over the yellow underline, it will say you should really use single quotes instead of double quotes. We can even just click on Quick Fix, and zip, there it is. It's been switched from double quotes to single quotes. So we can make use. We can quickly fix some of the problems that it's showing to us. There's another one left here, missing semicolon. I can again click on the quick fix, or that one's so simple, maybe I'll just do it myself. So a lot of what it's showing you is stylistic improvements to your code. We in this class do not mark those style violations, so you don't have to worry too much about them, but it's a good idea to get used to writing stylistically appropriate code. Anyway, so now I've created my function hello, and it has a return value. And in the last assignment, maybe your next step would be to run the tests that I've already set up for you and see if your attempt worked. And you can do that here. Just go and run the test suites using npm test or any of the other tools that are built into the editor. However, that's kind of a slow and frustrating way to work. And there are a couple of methods that are in some ways a little bit easier. And I wanted to show them to you now. One tool that we have installed in our extension pack is a cool little thing called QUokka, which will provide a couple of extra tools for us here in the file. So the first thing we're going to do is activate the command pilot and turn on QUokka by typing QUokka and activating start on current file. You can also use this toggle command, which will start and stop QUokka in case anything goes wrong with it. So when I hit start, the QUokka panel will pop up down here, and we can start using its functions. Right now, not much is being shown. You see this white block here, which doesn't give you much information. Let me show you a cool thing, though. What I'm going to do is define a new variable and set it equal to the output of our function hello. So let h equal hello, the execution of hello. So now the value of h is whatever the return value is of the function hello. When I just type the name of the variable on its own line, we see that QUokka pops up the value that it will have, and so without going over to the test and stuff, I can just quickly look at the value of h here and see that the output value is going to be I don't really know what I'm doing. So that is awesome for when I'm just quickly running through code and wanting to check it on the fly. It's not so great for when I finally want to run all the tests and hand in my assignment. So I will make sure before I hand it in to comment out those lines. And I can work my way through the assignment problem by problem, checking the output and ensuring that I've got things right. And as you learn more computational concepts, your the kind of test code that you'll write here in the file will get increasingly complex. And that, so by the time you're done with problem 2, you'll have to learn how to do things a little bit that are a little bit more complicated. So that is, I think, the method that you're likely to use to debug your code. First, you'll activate ESLint, which is done automatically after you run npm install. Should be done automatically, I hope. And second, you can activate QUokka, which you have to do manually on each file, and it will tell you what the value is of your function calls, and that will get you pretty far towards passing the tests and help you to diagnose any small deviations, small or puzzling deviations from the expected test values. There's another way to do things that doesn't involve QUokka and is also pretty cool. I don't expect you to use this necessarily, but if you did want to use it, you would learn a lot from doing so. So we can, from the root directory of our repository, manually start a new JavaScript process, an interpreter, by just typing node. Node is the name of the JavaScript engine that we use in the console or on our computers instead of in the browser. So if I type node, JavaScript types up, and I can import the functions that I've just written in this assignment and use them from that command line. So let me just show you how I do it. First, I got to save this file, and then I'm going to do this. I'm going to say, since this is O1 functions, I'm going to say var f equals, and here's the syntax: require, and we need this dot in front of the path. Problems, so O1 functions and variables.js. I'm not sure if this will work exactly the same in Windows or if you need backslashes. I don't know. And then I'll fix my typo. And so what we see here is we're going to require this file name, which I put between single quotes inside brackets, and I'm going to end it with a semicolon just because that's good form. Okay, and now if I type f, we'll see what the value of f is. F is an object now with a bunch of attributes: hello, greeting, return array, split array, subtract, careful subtract, and type tester. Those are the functions that we've been writing. And so if I execute f.hello, I get the output of hello. So I can, if I want, I can test my code here in the terminal. That can occasionally be convenient when you're kind of not exactly sure what you're doing and you don't want to mess up your file too much. As I say, it's a little bit unlikely that that's going to be your preferred method, and I think that the QUokka method will really speed up your learning process. I wanted to show you this just in case. Remember also that the resources in the supporting materials and in the assignment itself point you to guides on how to use the developer tools, including the JavaScript console in the browser and the JavaScript Scratchpad in Firefox developer tools. And those are excellent tools. We will definitely be using them in the next assignment. So if you want to learn how to use them, it's totally worth your time to do so. But what I've given you so far is, I think, already a ton of stuff to try to learn, and might take you a while to figure out properly. However, I can guarantee you that it will speed up the process, the learning process for you, if you can figure out how to make use of these tools. Work these things into your regular workflow. Okay, so that's that, and I will see you in class in not that long.